Welcome back to Diana in the Pink. My name is Diana. I'm a physician assistant and I specialize in women's health and gynecology. If you're new here, we talk all about women's health issues and pregnancy, so make sure that you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. But without any further ado, let's jump right into the video, which is the 24 things that you need to do before you deliver your baby. When you were in the hospital enjoying holding your new little baby, you don't want to be worrying about last minute things that you needed to do before the baby comes home. I remember sending my husband to the department store to pick up a nursing bra for me the day I was scheduled for my C-section. Not the best way to spend the morning our baby was coming into the world, and honestly, not the best fitting bra I've ever had in the world. But be sure to watch till the end though. I will be offering a bonus tip, and it might ruffle a few feathers. I hope not, but you need to see it anyways. And of note, many of the things that I will talk about will apply if you are adopting a baby as well. But before we get into the video, I want to hear from you. Where are you coming from? Are you pregnant now? And if so, how far along are you? Is this your first? Are you thinking about trying to get pregnant? I'd love to read about what brings you to this video. So let me know in the comment section below. Now, this list just started off originally as 11, but the more that I was brainstorming, the more I continue to add. So just so you know, this is not a minimal list, nor is this list exhaustive. Some of the stuff you might feel like you need, or you might feel like you need more than what I've listed. The first things that I've listed are things that you need to do before the baby comes, and then the rest of the video, I will be focusing on things that you might want to have. Let's jump right into number 1, choosing your hospital. If you have insurance, you want to know which hospitals are covered and preferred. And if you don't have insurance, call around to find out which hospitals offer the best prices. Many will offer a discount for cash paying patients. Even if you have insurance, a lot of hospitals will offer a considerable discount if you pay for a portion of their bill right up front. You'll also want to know exactly how long it takes for you to get to the hospital during light traffic and also rush hour, so you can plan your drive accordingly the day of your delivery.
Hey, go, 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 go! Let's go!
Number 2, choose your pediatrician. Now, you might already have one chosen. If you have other kids, you'll most likely just use the same pediatrician. But if this is your first, or if you've decided that you want to change providers, you'll want to have them picked out before the baby is delivered. Ideally, the pediatrician who you plan on taking your kids to see as they grow up is the one that sees your little one in the hospital. It's certainly not the end of the world if that doesn't happen. It's just nice. You'll also want to make sure that your pediatrician is a preferred provider on your insurance as well.
984 million euros.
Number 3, your first baby's appointment. It's always a good idea to already have your first appointment on your pediatrician's schedule. Some pediatricians can get booked out pretty quickly. All right, number 4, get registered on a baby registry. Whether you are having a baby shower or not, friends and family and neighbors are going to want to congratulate you and bring you a little gift. And it's much easier on them if they don't have to guess what you might need or want if you're simply registered somewhere. It takes the guessing game away from them. Personally, I love Amazon Baby Registry because they have like literally everything that you could possibly need. And people who live long distances can just order something from you and have it delivered right to your home. It's convenient for everyone. I will link to Amazon's Baby Registry in the description below. Log in and check it out and pick out what you want and need. Another fun thing is that if you meet a few of their qualifications, then they will send you a free welcome box, and it's filled with sample products for you and your baby. One more thing that you might need to do is talk to your employer if you are planning to go back to work after the baby is born about your maternity leave. Now, in the US, you are federally protected under the 1993 Family and Medical Leave Act to be allowed up to 12 weeks of unpaid job protected leave per year. And it also requires that their group health benefits be maintained during the leave. Some employees might actually provide paid maternity leave as well, so it's important to know what your employer does. Now, what I'm going to say next mostly applies to if you are planning on working away from home and you want to be pumping at work. Preferably before you go on maternity leave, talk to your employer or your office about their breastfeeding policies. You are protected under the Federal Pregnancy Discrimination Act, which requires employers to provide their lactating employees a break time to pump in a private area or room.
You know what, Kevin? Why don't you just go ahead and stare?
not a bathroom, mind you, a private room. And they are required to do this until your baby is at least 12 months old. And I'm gonna link to the Pregnancy Discrimination Act and the Break Time for Nursing Mothers Law in the video description down below so that you can refer to that when you are talking to your employers before you go on maternity leave. Let's go into what you are gonna need in your home for the baby. In many ways, that baby is gonna take over most, if not all of your home. You've gotta have a crib, a bassinet, a rocker, baby feeding things, bath things, car seats, swings. You can usually tell a home that has kids in it. There's a lot to cover here. So let's start with the wardrobe for number 6. Baby clothes needs will vary largely based on where you live, your styles, and your needs and wants. Some people dress their babies to the 9 every single day. And other people, kind of more like me, just would keep their babies in soft onesies and jammies when they were young. Honestly, both are fine. There's nothing wrong with however you choose to dress your baby. But a few general notes though. For the most part, unless your baby was born early, they will not be able to fit into newborn clothing for very long. So if you have a lot of newborn clothes, and I know they are just so cute and easy to buy, consider keeping the tags on some of them until you know that you are gonna use them. Because a lot of times, they will grow out of those newborn clothes before you even have a chance to put them in them.
These diapers leak, not to mention my baby looks ridiculous in them.
These are adult diapers, ma'am.
I personally consider onesies one of the necessities for babies. They're nice and snug on the body, they stay in place, they keep the baby's back and belly covered when you have to change their diapers. Of course, you want to have some jammies. Babies lose a lot of heat through their head. And so if it's cold out, consider hats to keep baby's head warm, but don't put them to nap time with hats on. Next, you'll want to have some receiving blankets. They're great to swaddle your baby. They're nice to have an extra layer, maybe, or to cover the baby in the car seat. They can act as a burp cloth if you don't have a real burp cloth on hand. By the way, also you're gonna wanna have some burp cloths. Next one, have a car seat in your car. This one is really important. Most hospitals in the US will not allow you to take the baby home from the hospital if you don't have a car seat properly installed in your car. It is not safe to hold the baby in your arms in the car. The safest place for them to be is safely secured in their car seat, rear facing, and in the back seat. Now, if you go to the hospital beforehand with your car seat, they actually have car seat specialists who can help you make sure you have your car seat installed correctly. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 59% of car seats are not installed correctly. In other words, people are putting their babies in their car seats thinking their babies are as safe as can be, and over half of the time, people are putting their babies in car seats that are not installed correctly. I think it's best to have a professional check it out, show you what you're doing wrong if you are doing anything wrong, or reassure you that you have your car seat in as it should be. Next is a stroller. Now I'm putting this right after car seats because you can purchase a stroller car seat combo where the car seat will click into the car and then the car seat will also click right into a stroller, which is super convenient if you have a sleeping baby and you don't want to disturb them when you are out and about. Next is a diaper bag. I think they are super convenient while you are out and about, whether you're pushing the baby in a stroller or not. You want to have a bag to carry all of your baby essentials. So like diapers, wipes, change of clothing, rattles, blankets, binkies, whatever you need. It's really nice to have them all convenient in one place. Okay, so let's talk about feeding the baby because you are going to be doing this a lot, especially in the first few weeks to months of your baby's life. Just be prepared to know that they're going to be eating often.
Well, you boys are about to see something really special.
So you want to have a comfortable place to sit. Here's my personal 2-bit. If you Google baby feeding chairs, you're gonna get something like this. They glide back and forth, which babies like, but they've always looked so uncomfortable to me. Just my opinion, I got myself this big, comfy microfiber lazy boy type chair. It is soft, it has soft armrests, it reclines. It is not the most stylish piece of furniture in my home. Totally don't care. I have spent so many hours in this chair. I've had it for all 4 of my kids, and I love it. But honestly, whatever's the most comfortable for you. This is so comfy, I think I'm gonna do the rest of my video in this chair. Next, it's a good idea for you to have a breast pump. Even if you plan on staying home with the baby, it's good to have a breast pump because it can help you to increase your milk supply. You can store milk in the freezer for a time when your baby might need it, like if you're gonna go out of town or even a date night with your significant other. Now, if you have insurance, they will actually pay for you to purchase a breast pump. I will put a link in the video description below for where you need to go if you wanna get a free breast pump from your insurance. Next, you could consider like a baby boppy or other, I think that's what they're called. Baby bop? I don't know. I never had one, but some kind of support for when you are nursing the baby, just to help your arm and your shoulder to not get too tired. The other thing that you want to have when you're breastfeeding is a water bottle. I always like to keep a really big water bottle by my chair so that every time I sat down to breastfeed, I would remember to take a big drink of water. You don't want to get dehydrated when you're trying to nurse, and it helps you to keep up your milk supply. You may also want to have something on hand to help with nipple pain. Breastfeeding can sometimes be painful, especially at first. I loved these. These were a lifesaver for me. They're like little gel pads that you can put over the nipple, and it really helped with the pain in the first few weeks. Now, if you want to know more about breastfeeding tips, I will link to my video about that right here. Check that out after you finish this video. Next, if you're planning on bottle feeding, you'll need to have some supplies for that as well. So of course you're gonna wanna have bottles, you'll want bottle brushes and drying racks, and then you also want a bottle sterilizer. This makes sterilizing your bottle so much easier. Now, if you don't wanna buy one, you can actually just sterilize your bottles in a pan with boiling water. That works too. And of course you'll wanna have formula. There's lots of different options out there for you. Just pick whatever works best for you. This next thing that I'm gonna mention is not a necessity. It's definitely a luxury, but wow. Okay, I didn't have one. I kind of wish I did though. It's a baby bottle formula dispenser. It's like a coffee maker, but for baby bottles. Amazing, definitely a splurge, but I just thought I would mention it. Next thing to think about is a baby monitor. How you want to monitor your baby is entirely up to you, because there are so many different options, from the very basic to very, very fancy, elaborate monitors that watch your baby's breathing and your oxygen. Now with my first baby, my monitor was literally like a one-way walkie-talkie. Now I have a camera monitor. I can see what's going on in the room, and I can actually scan across my entire room. So that's what works for me right now. But you can get even fancier. Some monitors you can hook onto your baby's feet, and it monitors the baby's oxygen. There's some that watch your baby's breathing movements and alerts you if something is wrong, which is really nice. It's up to you on your comfort level. I also think it's good to have a way to keep an eye on your baby while you are driving. Newborns need to be rear facing, so you're gonna need at least a mirror in front of the baby so that you can look in your rearview mirror, see the baby's reflection in the mirror. I have tried that. It works fine, but the baby's image is like that big. So personally, I sprung for a little camera monitor that is made for your car. It's more expensive, but I just found it easier to see my baby's face on a camera monitor on my dash instead of that little teeny tiny reflection in my rearview mirror. That's just personal. Whatever works for you is good. Next, let's talk about bath time. So you want to have a bathtub. Is it necessary? Well, I mean, I know some mothers who actually just prefer to bathe with their babies. Most prefer not to, but it's okay, whichever one you want to do. You also want some baby body wash. This is the one that I use, and I like it because it's tear-free and it's safe and non-toxic. It's not the only amazing product out there, but I will link to this one in the video description down below. Next, you're gonna need a safe place for the baby to sleep. For many, that might mean a crib, but early on, you can get away with a bassinet. Now, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommend that the baby sleeps in your room for the first 6 months of life. 1 year is even better. This helps to reduce the incidence of SIDS, or sudden infant death syndrome. They do not recommend co-sleeping with the baby. However, in other videos where I talk about not co-sleeping with your baby, some of you have reached out to let me know that in their culture or their country, they actually recommend co-sleeping with your baby. I love that you guys will reach out and tell me what things are like, where you're from. I think it's very informative, so keep doing that. I appreciate that. All right, let's talk about diapers. Of course, you'll want diapers, diaper wipes, and I always recommend diaper cream to have on hand in case your baby gets a diaper rash. Do you need a changing table? I have one. I hardly ever use it. Diaper wipe warmer? Hardly ever use it. So I'll leave those kinds of things up to you to decide if you need them or not. Also, keep hand sanitizer close by. I use that if I change a wet diaper. If it's poopy, I just go wash my hands afterwards. Finally, I want to talk about medical stuff. There's a few things that I think that you should have on hand. You're gonna want a thermometer. So for a newborn, you'll either want to use a rectal thermometer or like a temporal artery thermometer. Both are fine for newborns, but come on. This one is so much easier for you, so much more comfortable for the baby. So if you're having a hard time deciding, I would go with this kind. Of course, you'll want to have fingernail clippers And then this is also an important one. This is a baby bulb. This is so that if your baby has some congestion up in the sinuses, in the nasal cavity, and you can hear they're having a hard time breathing, you can put this in their nose and suction out some of their mucus so that they can breathe a little bit better. Also, it took me forever to figure this out. If you have one, don't squeeze it like this. It's not how it's supposed to work. Take it and squeeze it like that. That's gonna suction better. You're gonna have a much better experience, and so will your baby with this. So just a little pro tip. This leads me right into my bonus tip that I promised. The CDC recommends that you and other caregivers have your Tdap, which stands for tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis, before the baby is born. The reason for this is that you want to be covered for something called pertussis, which is more commonly known as whooping cough. Whooping cough for adults is very mild, like a mild cold, but can be deadly for newborns. On that same token, it's also recommended that you and the baby's other caregivers get their flu shot, because babies can't get their flu shot until they are at least 6 months of age. Now, I got my Tdap and my flu shot when I was pregnant, and anybody who is going to be holding my newborn had to have theirs as well. Okay, so did I miss anything? I mean, already I'm thinking I should have mentioned like a swing. I didn't mention that at all. I don't know if you really need that or not. I think there's other things that people might feel like is really important. So if I miss something that you think is super important, put that in the comment section below. If I get enough must-haves that I didn't include, maybe I'll do a follow-up video based on your guys' recommendations. And hey, again, if you're new to Diane in the Pink, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any future uploads. We do a lot of videos about pregnancy, women's health, and we have a ton of fun. And you know what? I've actually done a whole series, pregnancy series, and I walk you through pregnancy week by week, talking about the baby developments of that week, how you might be feeling, common problems and what to do about them, what to expect at your next appointment, pretty much anything that you need to know about your pregnancy at that week. That's what we talk about. So I'm going to link to that playlist right here. Click on that, find the week that you're on, and I will see you over there.